if you're doing that networking thing, sometimes it takes a little bit of time. You have to get to know, like, and trust the person that you're talking to if you want referrals. And in BNI, that's one of the things most members are looking for is more referrals. So I'm excited today to be joined by Omu, who's going to be talking to us a little bit, not necessarily the know, like, and trust, because that's what everybody uses as languaging. But we in BNI specifically talk about the VCP process: visibility, credibility, and profitability. So thank you so much, Omu, for being here to let us share today about you, about
Thank
this
you.
conversation.
Thank you. It's lovely being here. I'm extremely passionate about BNI, so it's one of the things I love to talk about.
I can imagine, because you're 10 plus years as an executive director and national trainer.
Well, I didn't start out as an executive director. I kind of grew. I started out as this shy young girl who could barely get her 60 seconds straight. And then,
Well, it's funny, like, when I came into BNI, I wouldn't have gone to my first meeting if they told me I was going to have to talk 30 seconds in public.
absolutely.
So I 100% get where you're coming from. I was the shy girl and quiet and like, I don't want to talk in public. It's amazing what BNI can do for us in addition to referrals,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, it did a total turnaround for me. And shortly after, they made me the education coordinator. So that was even worse. I had to get up and do the training.
Oh, no. They, after 4 months, were like, "You want to be president?" And I was like,
Oh
"Ooh,
my
I had no
goodness.
idea what I was doing." I guess it worked.
Yes,
And so,
yes.
it is a big part of that VCP. But before we get to that, what country are you from as a national trainer?
I'm from Nigeria. Wonderful, warm weather and warm people. Nigeria.
So did I see the other day that you were talking about how cold it was in Nigeria?
Well, there was this, well, it definitely isn't as cold as winter, but it was unusually cold.
And how cold is unusually cold?
Well, what we would call about 16, 18 degrees.
Yeah, I'm in Florida in the United States, and we're kind of the same. When,
Okay.
when, when we
Yeah,
say
yeah,
cold, it's not snow and boots and jackets. It's like, ooh, I might have to pull out a sweater.
yeah.
So let me tell you a little bit more about Amu. She is a transformational coach and vision pruner. She helps her clients overcome procrastination, fear of failure, fear of success, self-doubt, self-loathing, fear of rejection, imposter syndrome, and hesitation. She is passionate about giving back and serves as a mentor to young girls under the Global Give Back Circle and sits on a board of a charity for children living with cancer. So very excited to have you here with us today. What
Thank
can you
you.
tell us about VCP?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to clear, because sometimes when you go online, you see when they write V plus C equals to P,
Mm.
like it's a formula. So I always like to clarify that it's not a formula, it's a process. So it's not like 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. It's a process. So about
And sometimes I
VCP,
think
that's
about kind of like stair steps. You got the first step, which is V, the second step, which is C, the
step is
third step, which
C.
is P. You got to go
Absolutely.
all the way up.
Absolutely. And I find that it's not like you do the process and you stop. It's a constant process. And I say this because at some point I thought, oh, I'm done with visibility. I'm in the credibility level. So the next thing is profitability. And sorry about that. And the next step is profitability. Um, but I found out that it was because it's a process. You're constantly seeking visibility, you're constantly seeking credibility because your doors are opening, you're getting into new places. So you never stop really seeking visibility. Um, and now more than ever before, it's you have to look for innovative ways to be visible because there are not a lot of in-person meetings. Post COVID, a lot of people have gotten used to meeting online. So there are new ways, there are new innovations about how you can be visible online. And what I usually say to people is you need to first of all identify what it is you want and who you want to reach.
Oops, sorry, a little technical. Can you repeat that last sentence?
Okay, I say that you need to know who you're looking out for, the message you're trying to send. There's no message, whatever message you want to send really is up to you. As long as you realize that it's the target you're getting to and that's who you want to get to. You can't be wanting to reach coaches and you're joining groups of dancers, for instance. You're not going to meet transformational coaches there. You can't be wanting to reach coaches or you can't be constantly wanting to reach entrepreneurs and you're constantly posting jokes or reposts. You have to establish yourself in the industry that you are and in the industry that you're seeking to connect with. And this you can do through several means, through your posts, through writing articles, joining groups with like-minded people. And based on what you post to create visibility, that's when you gain credibility. So if you keep writing articles in your related field, then people begin to realize that, oh, she knows what she's talking about. Tiffanie, you've done these podcasts, you keep doing these posts, and you're constantly talking about networking and referrals. You've established credibility in that area. If you were talking about Zumba classes and gym and exercise, and then you inbox me or you DM me saying, oh, you're holding a class on networking and referrals, I'm wondering what's the connection. So you establish yourself as an authority in that field, and then you gain credibility. Now, after credibility, I honestly see that profitability just comes.
Okay.
It's almost a given. It's like a dividend. But one thing I want to clear is that profitability is not always about cash. That's the mistake a lot of people make. So when they say profitability, they first of all start to see the dollar sign.
So their definition of profitability is money, but what you're saying is there's more to it than we're not saying it ain't about the money, but there's more to it. All right. So what more to it?
Which ultimately would get you the dollars or the naira, as the case may be for me. There's collaborations. There's building your network. I've come to learn, especially from BNI, that building your network is actually gold.
Mm-hmm.
I've built a huge network in BNI, and I know that if I go to Malaysia, I have someone to get in touch with. If I go to India, I have someone to get in touch with. If I go to Singapore, I have someone to get in touch with. I have someone to get in touch with in over 70 countries. That's worth more than $8.
Excellent. I love it. Yeah, it's interesting. One of the things about BNI that I've noticed, and you've probably noticed it over the past decade, is like when I first got involved in BNI, it's about me and my chapter and the VCP that I'm creating in there. And then it's like, oh, wait, there's a region of 10, 20, 30, 40 chapters, depending on where you are in the world. And now I'll have to say this about Zoom. Over the past 2 years, or I guess that's not even been 2 years. Nope, it's been 2 years. Oh my gosh, it's been 2.5 years. My gosh. Now we really
agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you. You know, I used to when I'm training in some chapters, and especially when they're new members, I tell them that in the past we went from using the sheets and filling it in, and then we went to BNI Connect, and all we did as close as one-to-one we could do was the groups on BNI Connect, which was just chatting.
Yeah.
You know, now you can attend a meeting in 70-something countries and network and see the person and actually build a relationship. There's some people I've met physically after COVID.
Yeah.
And when I was in America, and it felt like I had known them forever, but I was just seeing them physically for the first time. And we had collaborated on a lot of things.
Yeah, it's amazing what we can do now, and the technology. I remember Dr. Meisner years ago saying, yes, we're going to be in person until at such time that we can all be holograms. And we're not quite there yet. But it will be interesting when they have the first VR chapter. I wonder how many more years, probably not a lot, where it's going to be a
Not a
VR
lot.
chapter where everybody's in virtual reality. I'm slow on
Not a lot.
technology, so I'm not there yet, but I can totally see it coming for us. So what tips do you have for people on helping move from visibility into credibility into profitability? What tips might you have for the BNI members watching this? And BNI
Okay.
members, if you're watching this, feel free in the comments, whether you're watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, to ask any questions or share any of your thoughts if you want to.
So first of all, identify what exactly it is you're doing. You know, in BNI, we say specific is terrific. You need to be able to know specifically what services you offer or what you're selling. And then secondly, you need to identify who your target is. Then thirdly, you identify where they are. Like I always say to people, I'm one of those believers that I don't have to be on every social media platform. And if I am, it doesn't have to be for the same reason. There's some social media platforms I am on purely for entertainment. I know that my clientele is not looking for me on those platforms.
Yeah.
But I just like it. So you're able to identify exactly where your clients are. They could be on those platforms, but not for the specific reason to look for people like you. So I'm on TikTok and I'm on Snapchat. I'm not going to go on Snapchat to look for a member of Ascentive. But there are members of Ascentive on Snapchat and TikTok, definitely.
Yeah.
But I would go on LinkedIn to look for a member of Ascentive. I would go on Facebook to look for a member of Ascentive. I might go on Instagram to look for a member of Ascentive.
Yeah.
So it's important that you know where your clients are. And then you need to identify what it is they want to hear. It's not about what you want to say, what it is they want to hear, what are their pain points. And then when you're able to identify that, you begin to build rapport based on those things. You build rapport, you have conversations, and then they begin to see you as the credible person in that area of specialty.
I love it. And I love the idea of you being the credible person, you being the expert in your specialty. And I think that specialty is so very important for us. And I did just want to, we talked a little bit about VCP, talked a little bit about being online. There is a BNI podcast. I happen to like it because we're sharing the content. So shameless self-promotion here. But we did actually, Dr. Meisner and I did a podcast 677 on how to build your VCP on Zoom. And so that's a little bit outside of the scope of today. But I at least wanted to mention, for those of y'all watching, you may want to check out BNI Podcast 677 if you're still working on that Zoom thing. And you would think 2.5 years after being into this new world and being on Zoom that people would figure it out. But I talk to people all the time and they haven't figured it out. Like somebody had a massive mess behind them. And it was like, that's what we see. And if you're that messy that we see, it might be a clue to other things. So check that out. So 2 last things before we let you go here from our live. If you could share with us, the second question I'll ask you is there one last tip that you want to leave the members on helping increase their VCP? But prior to that, tell us where we can find you online.
Okay, so I'm on Facebook as Omu Obilor. I also have a Facebook page and a private group that is private, and it's I kept it private because I want to maintain people's privacy and help them feel safe. And on Facebook, I'm Omu Obilor. My group and my page is my company name, Thrive with Omu. On Instagram, I'm Thrive with Omu. On LinkedIn, I'm Omu Obilor.
Awesome. Excellent. And I dropped your website there on the screen.
And then on YouTube, I'm Thrive with Omu 3042.
Excellent. So any last words that you want to give to the BNI members on how they can do better with their VCP, building that visibility, credibility, profitability?
So before they listen to the podcast, now that a lot of us have meetings on Zoom, there's a habit of being in these meetings and you're almost invincible because you're not commenting. but you don't realize that everyone is reading the comments. So you pop into those meetings and you pop out almost like no one came in. So comment, clap, make your presence felt. And then with Zoom meetings now being very common, there have a lot of digital business cards have also sprung up in different areas. I'm not sure if there's a free one, but I won't be surprised if there's a free one. But you should have a digital business card where you can just put the link in the chat. It's usually neater than writing a long story. Nobody has time to read those long stories. You just pop in your digital card and it has all your social media and contact details on there, and people can contact you afterwards.
Awesome. Awesome. Excellent. I want to say thank you so very much for your time today to share with us about how to have that success, really. And I always like to share with people how you are in BNI is how we think you are in business and in life. And so when you show up on time, do what you say, prove to us the expert, it will go up very quickly. So yes, how you are in BNI is how we believe you are in business.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for being here. Thanks everybody for watching.
Thank you.